Hello, my name is Michelle Story, and I'm going to be doing a lesson today on telling time to the hour. This lesson is geared toward first graders, with the objective being that we will be able to tell time to the hour and write time to the hour in both words and numbers. So let's get started. Scholars, I'm so excited today because we are going to begin learning how to tell time. First, let's think about this question. Why do people use clocks? Think about that for just a moment. I'm sure as you thought, you came up with the idea that we need to know when we need to be somewhere, along with the notion that we need to know what time something starts. These are good reasons that people use clocks. I'm sure you came up with other reasons as well. Maybe something as simple as just being able to tell time, being able to be on time places. Today, we're going to look at a clock and learn how to read the hour hand. The small hand is the hour hand, and on our clock today, it's going to be red. Say the statement to yourself. The small hand is the hour hand. The big hand is the minute hand, and on our clock it's blue. Our focus today is really on the hour hand, because in this lesson, and for now, all you need to know is that the minute hand is always going to be on the 12. This will change later as we study telling time more in depth. But for now, we're only doing time to the hour, so the minute hand will always be on the 12. Where will the minute hand always be this week? It will always be on the 12. Tell your neighbor or tell yourself where the minute hand is always going to be this week. That's right, the minute hand is always going to be on the 12. Now the small hand will move around our clock. The small hand is going to be red for our lesson, and it's going to be our little hand. Remind yourself, the small hand is the hour hand. Repeat that statement to yourself, or repeat it to a neighbor. The small hand is the hour hand. Echo me. The small hand is the hour hand. Your turn. On our clock, our hour hand is still the small hand, and it's red. It's not only shorter than the minute hand, it's thinner, just to make the point that our small hand is the hour hand. When we tell time, we start with the hour hand. In this first picture, it's pointing to the 1. So our time, when it's to the hour, is always going to be o'clock. So in this picture, it's 1 o'clock. Our minute hand points to the 12, but our hour hand points to the 1. When we tell time, we start with where the hour hand is pointing. If it's pointing at the 1, we start with 1 something. In this case, for this lesson, it will always be that number, o'clock, 1 o'clock. Now our hour hand is pointing to the 2, so it's 2 o'clock. It moves to the 3, and now it's 3 o'clock. Again, we move forward for an hour. On a real clock, the minute hand would be moving too, but since it's staying on the 12 for this lesson, we're only going to show movement of the hour hand. Now our hour hand points to the 4. It's 4 o'clock. You may also notice that our hour hand is traveling around the clock. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's called clockwise. Clockwise. That's something to keep in mind because many things are based on clockwise motion. It moves forward another hour, and now it's 5 o'clock. When the little hand is pointing to the 6, our hour hand, it's now 6 o'clock. Moving again, it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Continuing clockwise around the clock, it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and finally, both hands are on the 12. It's 12 o'clock. Now we have a different type of clock, which I'm sure all of you have seen at some point. This is called a digital clock or digital time, and it's actually how you can write time. This digital clock shows 9:24 a.m. AM means morning and PM means afternoon. We're not going to get into that in this lesson, but that's what this digital clock shows. That sound you heard is typically the sound of an alarm clock. On this slide, we have a digital clock and an analog clock, but we also need to discuss how you write time. A digital clock already has the time written for you. In first grade, we typically say it's 3 o'clock, and we write it with a 3, we say ... and a 00. On our analog clock, the big hand is pointing to the 12, meaning o'clock, and our hour hand is pointing to the 3, meaning 3 o'clock. We can write it with words. We can write the number 3 and the words o'clock. Just another way to show how to write time. And now, like our little analog clock here, you can do the happy dance with me because we've learned to tell time to the hour. Again, remind yourself, which hand is the hour hand? The hour hand is the small hand. It's where you start your time. Whatever number the hour hand is pointing to, that's the beginning of saying or writing your time. If it's on the 3 and the big hand is on the 12, you have 3 o'clock. Again, my name is Michelle Story. I left you my email address if you have any questions, and I would like to give credit to Think Central, our Houghton Mifflin curriculum, online curriculum for my district, and betterlesson.com for their ideas in helping me develop this lesson. Thank you.